Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly group coaching call. Today I have Nick with me and we are going to discuss the pitfalls of free agents, which is a fancy way of saying we are going to talk about the pitfalls of hiring freelancers. And I think this is something that we should definitely talk about, and what to do so that we don't, so that we go about it the best way so that we get our code and we get our Chrome extensions launched. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. Hey Nick, thanks for joining.
No problem.
All right, Google Slides.
This.
I'm pulling up the slides right now. Hold on. You know what? I had someone compliment me the other day, like, oh my gosh, you typed so fast. And I don't even like consider it, but I just remembered him telling me that, how I go, and then I just like had a moment where I was thinking about the sound of my keyboard. And I'm like, oh, I do type kind of fast. Okay. Anyways,
it's a good skill
self-praising moment right there. Huh?
It's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All
so
right.
We got Amit here.
Hey, Amit. Alex is going and he's sending out, let me see, the invitation to Chrome Boss. And also this week is kind of like holiday week, so people are feeling more chill, but there are announcements I want to make as well. Okay, so let's get started right now. Share screen. All right, guys, welcome to the group coaching call for the 27th of December. We are all Chrome bosses, and usually for these meetings, I go over the wins really quickly and check to see if there's any updates. I have created this thing called kind of like the Chrome Boss Hall of Fame, where as we keep developing and we keep winning, because the cool thing about what is being taught here is that once we launch, we don't stop. We just continuously grow our Chrome extension businesses, and we just have more revenue every single month, a little bit more revenue every single month. So if you guys share any wins, you will go onto the Chrome Boss Hall of Fame, and it will be updated as we go along. Hey, Margarita, thanks for joining. Margarita has an announcement today too. She has a really big win today. I saw your post, and we will get into that as well. So yeah, Zeki is still on his vacation. He can be on taking like more than a month off because he's earning income through affiliate marketing and Chrome extensions. Group Friender is gonna get another update within 5 days, another feature added. Antonio, he is getting his tagging Chrome extension out there. JR he said he has 16 subscribers now paying him $29.99 a month. And so he's making around $400-$500 a month on his Chrome extension monthly reoccurring. And then there's people who pay for the yearly as well. So that's great news. Shweta did launch her Chrome extension. So that's really awesome for Shweta. And then Lana just went live yesterday in my group talking about her Chrome extension. And she finally launched it. It's something that's her version number 2, and she's really proud of. And during the live, there was a lot of positive reception for her Chrome extension. A lot of people supporting her in her journey, especially pharmacists. I found out that one pharmacist, he went nuts and he kind of like tagged everyone. And then he's part of this Chrome boss as well. He hasn't showed up on a live yet, I don't think, but he just got into Chrome boss and his name is Bobby and he knows this big network of like pharmacists. So he saw her story. He's like, oh my gosh, you're a pharmacist too? And you have a Chrome extension. So he's really excited that she's also a pharmacist. RJ Ahmed sold his a copy of his Chrome extension so far, Friend Funnel, so lets you automatically message people once they accept you as a friend. And then Michael, he just got added last week to the Chrome Boss Hall of Fame, and he got his Chrome extension approved by Facebook with groups access, published to groups API. All right. Oh, Michael is also here. Hey, Michael. Let me.
Hey.
So today we're going to start off with a few announcements and just making sure that we go over certain things with you because we have weekly calls and we learn more things ourselves about what the program needs every single week. And so I want to bring that to you. The first announcement is the Chrome Boss live event. And I'm going to have someone help me with creating like a legit landing page, Chrome Boss live. But right now, people are asking for the order page and they are finding time in their schedule to attend this event on the 27th and 28th. And I announced it on my live and they're like, Kim, where's the order page? I want to order. So I whipped up this order page. So this is available for you to order. If you are in Chrome Boss already, I have a promo code for you guys. And it takes off $700 from the ticket for the regular ticket. I have yet to figure out how to apply it to that. But there's two levels. You can do the VIP package, which includes a one-on-one session with me and then also a VIP dinner. I am modeling after my coach and his program. So, you know, I paid $30,000 to be in, to be coached, to be a coach, to have live events. And I'm just like following their format. And yeah, so in the live event, what I'm going to provide for you guys is a workbook with where we're going to have an implementation day. You're going to fill out the workbook as we go throughout the day. And it's going to be an experience where you're going to learn more than you would just watching modules. You're going to actually all the details that you haven't had time to watch in modules, I'm going to bring it into the event so that you have space to clear time away and just know and just get this huge amount of information on Chrome extensions and what you can do and how I did it in a more immersive way. And that's what I want to bring for you guys on Chrome Boss Live. And then you walk away with that workbook. You get massive clarity on Chrome extension portfolio. You get to meet me, and JR is going to be there. And Rachel S. Lee says she's coming. And Doug Botten says that he would be happy to come too. So this I just announced recently, but people want to come. We are capping this at around 25, 30 people max because I want this to be an event where I don't have to yell over, you know, try to have a lot of people running around. And I just want it to be like an intimate mastermind. So you get each individual person will receive a lot of value from coming there. So it will include one implementation day, bring your laptop, and it will include one mastermind day. Our days will start at 10 a.m. because some people will be flying in and some people will be driving. But 10 a.m. is just a great time to start because you aren't too sleepy. And also on this call, if you're watching the live now or the replay, I would like to get your input too on what you would like to get away from an experience like this, because I have just from teaching this for like over a year now, I have ideas on what you guys would need in terms of having a great experience. But also, I'm open to listening on what you guys who are in the community already, who haven't been traveling this journey, would best benefit from in terms of having a live event. So I'm open for your suggestions on that. If you are in Accelerator or you're in Elite, your ticket is included, so you don't have to uh, pay and fill this out. But if you're just in Chromeboss Masterclass, then you get like a super discounted price. And if you have a friend that might benefit from this, I'm going to have an affiliate program attached to this too. So if you invite them in, then you get the commission. You get the affiliate commission just because they show up and they're there to learn. So yeah, anyways, that's what I have. And I feel like it's going to be built out by, the landing page will be built out better by Alan Dean. But for now, it's just so you guys, if you know a friend, if someone's like, where's the order page? I want to order now. I want to book my tickets. It is 2 months ahead, a little bit over 2 months, but people need that kind of advance notice to book their flights and everything. Okay, with that said, I will open it for Q&A a little bit later, but I want to jump into jumping into our lesson for today, which is something Nick and I have seriously thought about, and we want to create a lesson around it. So it's going to be called Pitfalls of Free Agents, because it's a funny sounding name, but it's really developers. Pitfall of hiring developers, and what you can do to stay on top. So that's what I'm going to call this lesson for today. And then after that, we will do Q&A. After that, we will go through questions and answers with each individual person. And then after that, open up to Q&A. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. So you want to write what I say, or you want me to share my?
Yeah, share what you've learned, and I'm going to be writing it down. So
Sure. So one of the things, the first things when hiring a developer is to vet, meaning to look at what other things they've done and see the quality of the work that they've produced. Now, this one's a little bit tough because anybody can say they did a product, but then not really did it. Their friend did it or something like that. But when you ask for this, you can ask for a snippet of the code that belongs to that product. They don't have to show you all of the code base, but if a way to verify that they've worked on a project is just have them show you a little bit of the code, and you can see what they've done, or ask them for a little bit of the structure of the code or the flow of the code. So that way you can verify that they've worked on the project. So that's the first thing is when you're looking at a developer, when you're talking to a developer, ask them for previous work. There are some sites out there that you can use to vet a developer. Basically, the developer just goes through and does a test. But those are, sometimes you have to pay for those types of sites.
Oh, do you know the examples of these sites? I thought, so my experience is Upwork has tests, and it tells you what percentage they've completed.
Those tests,
go ahead.
yeah, I can give you some of them. I've used one of them in the past. The Upwork and these other sites, they just basically ask a developer to take kind of like a standardized computer test, CAT test, and those tests are not usually very accurate, or they can have friends to take the test for them. So I wouldn't 100% rely on those tests. There are other sites like Top Talent, and those sites pre-vet the developers a lot more than Upwork. Because Upwork, you can just go on and create a profile, and you can just say that you have 20 years experience or whatever. So I wouldn't necessarily use the Upwork, what the Upwork tests are. Let me take a look here, and I can give you one of them. It's basically for people that hire developers to basically to test them. Testing. Okay, which one did I use before?
What we've learned also, something really, really important, is that you need to open a Bitbucket account. And what is it? While Nick searches for his site, look at resume, open a Bitbucket account. And before, I would say before sending payment, have your developer drop the files into Bitbucket. I just created a module earlier this week on how to open a Bitbucket account, how to share it with your developer versus like just LastPass. You can give them write access versus view access. So then they can go and drop the files in there. And it's really, really important to get those files, because that's one of the pain points that I've seen people going, oh, I paid that person already, but I don't own any of the code, and I don't, they don't have any of the code. They don't have nothing. They paid that person. And then, so they would they feel now that, oh, I paid them already. And now they're asking for like revisions and stuff from a new developer. And the new developer is saying, okay, how can I add revisions if you don't have the code? So just making sure you open a Bitbucket account before sending the payment. Say, hey, can you drop it in here? And then test your Chrome extension and then send payment.
Yeah, so Bitbucket is one. The other one is GitHub. GitHub is free. Bitbucket, I believe, has a free plan as well. And then the other one is GitLab. Those are the three popular repositories that most developers know about. So GitLab, GitHub, and Bitbucket by Jira. The same company makes Jira.
Okay. Yeah. GitHub.
Those test assessment sites are called, one is called DevSkiller, DevSkiller.com. That's one of the popular ones, the one that I've used before as well. And there's another one called CoderByte.
CoderByte.
Yeah, CoderByte. And CoderByte has a plan, 30-day free trial, and it has a plan you can subscribe to. And DevSkiller, as they're like a one-time payment. You can have your developer go there and they'll take a test, and then you get charged for that test. And they have a trial as well.
I see. 7 days trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you're saying that the test on Upwork or whatever is not that great, and they should be tested on DevSkiller.
Yes. If you have any doubts about a developer, he's hesitant giving you examples of things he's worked on, or he doesn't want to give you bits of his code that I would suggest definitely maybe using DevSkiller or the other one which is CoderByte.
That is so awesome. The reason why this is awesome, and this is why like Nick is on the team, because Nick will think of these things and I really, won't. So it's like he thinks of things that I don't think of. But for me, myself, I have a lot of developers coming at me saying, "Oh, Kim, you have a program where people are constantly coming in and their next step is hiring a developer. Let me be the person they hire, please." And I'm like, "Well, do you have an Upwork account?" And they're like, "No." So it's just so random. And I in my mind, I'm like, how can I really test them unless they go on Upwork? And so this actually gives me a resource, Nick, to test the multiple developers coming at me saying that they want work. So this is great. This is awesome. I think
Especially if you're going to continue building more extensions and you want to ensure the quality of the extension, not have as many problems. There's you can have a whole array, and we're going to cover some of it here. But with developers, there's a lot of pitfalls that you need to know about.
Yeah. Okay. So pitfall number 1, you need to vet them. You can vet them with these websites: DevSkiller, CoderByte. Number 2, you need to have a repository. It's either Bitbucket account or GitHub. GitHub.
Yep. So basically, you want to make sure that when the developer writes the code and he builds the extension for you, that you own the code, that the developer doesn't hold your code hostage, basically.
Yes. Yeah, these are the 2 things that, or at least the Bitbucket one, I create a whole module about because it's that important. Pitfalls, other pitfalls.
Other pitfalls are scope creep, what we call scope creep. Scope creep happens quite a bit with freelancers. And what scope creep is, basically, we start off with a certain requirement and it just snowballs or changes. And what, like many people, I've run into this many times as well as myself, is I had a budget, and the budget, I built in a padding for the budget, like 30% or 15%. And we ran over that budget, and it was beyond a scope creep. Even went to a whole other phase where it was, okay, we see this now in real life and it doesn't really work the way we thought. Once the code is done, and we basically scrap something and go from the beginning. So scope creep is a big thing. It's a big pitfall with anybody starting off with a developer on Upwork. And to avoid scope creep, we try our best by having a good requirement, a good document, a good the flow of it, the UI, the mockups, so that the developer doesn't come back and say, well, you really didn't want a button here, or you really didn't want this function to work that way. And that's the best ways to do the requirements up front. So that's one of the hardest parts when you first start, is creating that requirement document, the scope or the parts of the software that you want done.
Yeah. And for me, with the Chrome extension world, I keep it really, really simple. You can have a more complicated Chrome extension, but my scope is so simple that's like, this is what it does, and it's very simple. And I record like a Loom video, but I have seen people hire developers, and then what happens is whatever ended up happening is so different than what they wanted in the first place, because they were kind of lazy, like us. We were lazy in giving them the features, the exact things. Like, I want it to be like this, exactly like this. and then they end up not falling in love with their product. They end up like going, oh my gosh, there's nothing like what I wanted. Because there's that time of silence between them coding and them giving you the product, right? So when you get the product, you're like, oh my gosh, it's nothing like what I wanted. So just be a little bit more vigilant in like having the mock-up, having it out the way you want it, especially if your budget isn't huge. Like if your budget is huge, great. You could say, hey, no, that's not what I want. This is what I want. And then they'll be like, well, I already did this work. You're going to have to pay for that other work. And then you end up, kind of exploding your budget to more. So yeah, if you have a tight budget, be more careful in giving them the right mock-up, which is like wireframing. Wireframing helps a lot, and a Google document and a Loom video. So I would include all three just in case.
Now, that's interesting that you brought up the Loom video. If your developer can speak English very well and they're very, they can understand English, then a Loom video would be great. But a lot of times we use developers that are foreign. I've used both US based, and I've used foreign that speak English very well. And then I've used developers who don't speak any English, but they write it and read it perfectly fine. So a Loom video can go a long way if the developer can understand spoken English.
Yeah, and on the tests, like on Upwork, you can choose and filter out people who don't speak English that well. Like there's levels of English that they can speak, and you can choose like only very good English if you want them to really understand you. Because I have hired developers who can barely speak English, and it was just a nightmare. It doesn't work out. It's really hard for me to communicate to them what I want. So yeah, so this is awesome. Scope creep. And also, just so you guys know, I'm reading the comments now, and Margarita is saying, my extension was developed in 2 days. What killed me is ClickFunnels. I've hired the same. Oh, okay, that's great. That's a great lesson there, and we'll add that to here. Michael says that we're speaking to him right now. His next 3 Chrome extensions will be super simple. Great. So this is a good module to have. Something I want to also add is that when you hire a developer, keep in mind that you need to know their skills. So you can't have them do your landing page and connect everything all in one source. So make sure that, I don't know what to call this.
Well, this one's called in the outsourcing world, it's called overpromise, underdeliver. It's when a developer or development team wants your business and they want to make you happy. They want to please you. They want you to be happy, and they basically overpromise and underdeliver. This is a big pitfall with software development in general, and particularly with freelancers.
Yeah, so one way I avoid that is I only hire them for one thing, even separating the front end coding with the back end coding. You can do that. So hire them to only do one thing. And I would look at their resume to see what they specialize in, because some coders, they say, oh, I can only do back-end coding. Some coders say, oh, I can do front-end coding. Front-end is different than back-end. Back-end is more like database. Actually, I don't know 100% sure myself, but front-end, I feel like it's like the structure and what it looks like. And then there's also the designer who just goes in and changes colors, and like the look of it is also different. So for me, I just look at their resume, see what they're good at, and hire them for that one thing. And if they say, oh, I can do this too, then I would say, okay, where's proof of that? Like, give me proof that you can do this, you can build funnels too. But in my experience, it's very rare to have a one size fit all developer. Very, very rare for me. So I hire them for one thing.
It's called compartmentalized coding. It's where you hire somebody to build one module or one part of it, and then you have another developer work with the first one to tie things together.
Yeah.
I have one thing for the scope creep I forgot to include, and this is a big one. Can't believe it slipped my mind. Is basically sprint style project management. Sprint style, that goes on the top, scope creep. It helps
Okay.
the scope creep. I forgot to mention it. So basically, there are many frameworks for developing software. And one of them is basically it's sprint style. And what sprint style means is there's one part done and then you move on to the next part. So if that part you slated for it to be done in a week, you try to control the project that way. Basically, you break it up and say, okay, 1 week there, another week there. So the scope creep is less when working on a project.
Yeah, and there's two types of management style that I've heard of. There's waterfall, and then there's
Agile or Scrum.
agile,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Those get kind of complicated, but the simplest one, the waterfall one, works as well. But the sprint style is best because a developer and you can manage the sprints. It basically, it says, okay, in a week this has to be done, type of deal, and then you can follow along. If it's not done in a week, then you know that the project is behind and it will cost more money, so you can mitigate it before things become more complicated.
yeah, this is how I operate too. Whenever I just add like one feature for the next one, I'm like, okay, let's do notifications. But sometimes one feature is so simple that they're like, hey, can you give me more work or something? And then it forces me to think about like other things I want to add. But then don't let that pressure you into giving like a bigger budget for your next feature, even though you want one thing. Just say, hey, can you just finish this one thing? Like don't let that pressure get to you, and then you're like, okay, I'll like try to think of other things when you just want like a few things. So I don't know how, that's more like a mental thing. Don't be bullied. Oh, okay. What other things? Over promise, under deliver. I really like how Margarita and Michael is contributing in the chat. And Eric says that hopefully there's a recording. Sorry that you're late. That's fine, Eric. Yeah, this is all recorded. All the calls are recorded and put into the membership portal at the very bottom every single week. So, okay. Yeah, so overpromise, underdeliver, scope creep. Put your items into Bitbucket, look at the resume. What else have you guys encountered that have been like a pitfall that
Well,
you like?
Michael and Margarita have ran into this, and a lot of other people, is third-party integrations. So that is a pitfall that you don't always think about. I've run into them many times myself, where Michael's talking.
I'm not talking. Oh, whoop. I'm sorry. I thought I muted myself. I was just raising my hand. I have something after you're done, Nate.
Yeah, third-party integrations. Basically, when you build out something, you don't think about the payment gateway. You don't think about the funnel part of it. You don't think about these things, or you do think about them, but you don't build them into the development or into the finding that, like we said, the separate developer that can do that. So when you quote out an extension, you need to keep that in mind so that you don't kill your project where the integration itself costs just as much as the actual development, or the integration is the tougher part. So you need to keep that in mind. Basically, I would call it, additional integration costs.
Yeah, and how I avoid it is, first of all, I created this course so that you know everything that has to be connected to everything else in the very detailed step-by-step 30-day thing where I give you all the links to everything. But so people come in thinking that, oh, okay, I just got to do this. But yeah, these integrations happen because you want to have like a legit thing up. Like, you can get by with just your Chrome extension and then connect it directly to the Chrome Web Store and have one price. Just fine. That's just fine. But the reason why this third-party integration acts as a pitfall is because we want more. We want a landing page. In order to have a landing page, you have the domain, connect to email autoresponder. You want to talk to your audience. You want to collect emails. You want to have that funnel up. So I think third-party integrations is a pitfall for people who want more, but not for people who are just like lazy and they just don't want to have any kind of funnel. How to avoid that is to check the roadmap. So check the roadmap, because I include every link that has to be connected to everything. And also, what is it? I give my developers everything that they ask for. And usually, maybe we should have a list about it, but I give them everything. I give them access to the funnel, access, user access to Stripe, access to my hosting, access to everything. And at the get-go, you wouldn't think that they need access to like 10 different things, but then that's what they need access to if you want to have a legit business up. So how to avoid, get the roadmap. I have a good training at affiliatebusinesstogo.com that shows like linking the domain with the email, with the traffic, with everything together. And then also giving your developer all the access up front, because the reason why you need to do this is because they'll keep coming back and forth and asking you, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? And because of the different time zones, it's going to be so much, the communication will be so delayed. You're going to miss that message and you're going to, oh, okay. And then you have to wait a whole other day until, they're up and you're asleep. And so, the positive thing about outsourcing is that they're affordable. These awesome coders are affordable, but different time zones, different language, all of the things. So, yeah. Hey, Amit, you're taking notes and learning the lingo. Great. So go ahead, Nick. Sorry. I have a habit of interrupting. Go ahead.
The next one, and we can put quite a bit of stuff here, is called the Act of God clause.
Okay. Act of God clause.
Yeah. The Act of God clause means just things that are out of your control. And quite a bit of things can go out of your control. Additional costs, developer getting sick, delays with posting the Chrome extension, basically Chrome Store, approving your extension, you name it. There's quite a bit of stuff that falls under this section, which are just things that you didn't anticipate, you did not plan for. They just happen. That's why we call it the Act of God clause.
How to avoid?
How to avoid? Some things you can't avoid. Some things you can. I mean, your developer getting sick is not something you can avoid. Your developer going MIA is not something that you can avoid. Your developer giving up on you, the developer increasing his price is not something you anticipated. So yeah, you need to kind of have a contingency plan. The biggest one that could screw up any project is timing. So basically, you thought you were going to have X done by this time, but it did not get done. So why move to another time, which screwed up your, your launch date? And I've seen this many times, even with myself, where we anticipated we were going to release something. We had a webinar ready at that date, and it was just the act of God clause came in and basically screwed up everything. So we had to reschedule with the host of the webinar, and he didn't have time availability. So definitely you need to have realistic expectations and build into your project that there could be acts of God where you need to just rearrange and change things.
Yeah, so while you're saying that, these are my practical tips, okay? How you can't avoid acts of clause, but you can do things to move on. So one of the biggest things I've seen is you work with the developer and due to various things, it's delayed. The healthiest thing you can do for yourself is move on. So with the Bitbucket and the code and everything, just say, hey, I'm going to pay you for whatever amount you already did, but I got to move on. And for new CEOs, for people who barely hire someone, and I've experienced this for many years of my own life, I would hire someone and hold on to them and give them chance after chance after chance and like really hold on. And the phrase is, hire slow, fire fast. It's a mental thing. It's hard to do. It's really, really hard. Like for me, it's hard. Now that I've had many years of hiring and firing, now it's just easier for me to fire. So when I advise you to move on, like sever the ties, a lot of times I'm met with like, no, I want to give them a chance. But the people who do sever ties and move on, they get their stuff done. So it's a mental thing, but you need to be able to do it, to say, hey, I'll pay for you for what you did, but too many delays, I need to move on, I need to hire. And I've seen many, many cases where that does happen. It just is part of life. And the people who move fast, the people who decide to cut ties and move forward, they launch, they get results, they continue with their work. Then the people who hold on, they stay where they are. So that's my own personal experience. Make sure that you say, I'm going to pay you for this, I'm moving on. Another thing is backup system. So sometimes paying a little bit more for an agency might be worth it, because it's not one person working in his closet, like it's a team. They have IT, they have like a manager, someone's looking over their shoulder. So in that case, you're paying a little bit more, but you might want to pay a little bit more so that person doesn't ghost you, because he has an office, he has a supervisor to answer to, and that supervisor like pokes at them and be like, okay, what have you finished? So they kind of help you along on that process. So I sometimes hire an agency. I pay a little bit more, but they have backup people. So another thing is manage expectations with your customers. This is huge. When acts of God happen, whether you're in the middle of an update or you're like in the middle of a launch and then they disappear for whatever reason, manage the expectations of your customers. And I am not like 100% great at this yet, but what I do is I keep them updated by posting updates in the Facebook group, by getting an email blast before there's any update saying, guys, there might be service interruption. There might, we're going through a maintenance period. A lot of software companies have a ton of downtime now and then because of, updates, just updates. And if you don't send out that email blast beforehand, or like the Facebook post or something, you're going to have a lot of angry people. So one way to avoid that is managing their expectations, because they're kind. They're kind to you if you give them a heads up. And I think I don't know if this is something that's like common, but putting it into your policy terms and conditions, that these things can happen. Maybe people will be more understanding. But what I've noticed is that once you have software, you own software, you're going to get really, really grateful customers, but really disgusting customers. Customers who, sometimes you feel like you're that type of person. And so karma's coming back, like you never know. People are so grateful, but sometimes like something goes wrong, there's a little delay. And even though you've helped them for like a long time, they get really pissed all of a sudden that something isn't working, and they're so mad, and they forget all the good things. So as a mental kind of lesson for you guys is be prepared for those type of people, and just know that kind of this is the age we live in, where if our phone lags a little bit or something like that, we're like, ugh, Verizon sucks. We live in that kind of time. So don't be discouraged when you have customers who get really, really angry because they're so used to being spoiled with customer service. So that's another thing. Yeah, I'll feel blessed when I have customers. Michael. Oh, Margarita says that that's what she did. She liked her developer for Chrome extensions. So, and she hired someone else for her funnels. Yeah, and she let go of developers who were under delivering and delaying a lot. So that's great. What do they do when they get angry? Developers get angry?
They could hold your code hijack. Basically, that's all a developer can do, is they hold your code hijack, or if they're very spiteful, they can perhaps sell your code that they wrote for you to someone else.
Or they sell it themselves?
Or typically they try to, but they don't have the niche and experience you do. So for them, it's not really, for them, it's rather they sell it quickly to someone else than to try to market it themselves.
Yeah. So this is something that probably won't be mentioned as like a real active clause, but to prevent this, you have to be very kind. And it's something that I don't think a lot of people are very used to. When you become a boss, you kind of, some people are like, oh yeah, you need to do this for me. You need to do this for me. I paid you to do this. It's kind of more natural to get into that mentality than like, what is their goal? I've spoken to a lot of bosses who build out big teams, and the reason why they successfully build out big teams is they ask whoever they hire, whether it's a developer, whoever, like, hey, what's your personal goal? What's your long-term goal? Let me help you get to that goal. And so they feel cared for, they feel appreciated. And I feel like this is how to avoid a kind of all these delays and pitfalls, because I've seen developers delay other people's projects because they're just mean people. And then the people that they care about and they work with are the nicer ones. Even if in their portfolio of jobs that they have to do as a developer, they took on all these jobs, but then they pay attention and they work for and with the person that cares about them back and treats them like, human beings. So I don't know if this is probably something that will come as you like get deeper into this, but you will notice a trend that a lot of these developers are treated really horribly, and you need to be the person to treat them like you're equal, because they are people. They're just located somewhere else and they have different currency. But yeah, I'm feeling Chrome bosses don't have that in them to be cruel, but a lot of times they're not treated very well. And that's the reality to a lot of people that I know, like when they get outsourced. So how to avoid be kind and treat them well. They will treat you well back. All right, so
There's one more.
Okay, go ahead.
The last one, I think it just tops. It's basically bury the hatchet. Now, this is the last one. Is you touched on it a little bit. Is you tell me a nicer way of putting it. Basically, bury the hatchet is when you need to start over or move on. You know, what's a nicer way of saying it? Basically, bury the hatchet is, okay, it didn't work with one developer. It didn't work this way. You need to not be emotional about the project and not be emotional about the developer. And just like you said earlier, is move on and keep drudging on. Basically, finish the project if there's enough funds for you to salvage the project, and find another developer and start again. Don't get stuck. You touched about this project management has quite a bit of this kind of thing where if something's not working, we find a different way of approaching it. We don't get stuck and let things drag on.
Yeah.
So if developer's not capable of doing this or is having problems, you don't, I mean, you give them a chance, but you don't sit there and let a week go by, because a week is time and time is money. So you move on, you bury the hatchet and you move on.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a better way of saying it.
No, that's an awesome way of saying it. Bury the hatchet. That's a good phrase, I think, for this, because you know, we're in this and we're like, oh my gosh, this is my livelihood, this is my income, this is my future. I'm so emotional about this. And then the other people, they're like, well, this is my income, this is how I feed my family. So when two people come together, and those are the emotions involved, you have to really learn how to navigate that. And ways to navigate that, other than just experience and getting burned and, you know, and recovering, is you need to realize that even if all those emotions are there, at the end of the day, it is you trying to get a project that you're working on done, and can they do it? So if the project that you're working on, let's say you start woodworking, you hire someone to carve a horse for you, right? And they're just horrible at the carving, but you depending on that horse to be carved so that you could be paid for that horse because you're going to sell it, but they're horrible. So just look at it as, this project, is it going to be done? Is this person fit for it? Okay, this person is not. All right, they're like semi-carved it. You need to move on with another person who can carve it really well and get that horse created so you can move on. Instead of, you know, saying, this is my livelihood, you know, this is, you know, if you don't finish, I'm not going to make money. Like, if you treat it as a project that, whether people are skilled or not, and bringing in those skilled people, and you can treat it as removing those unskilled people from the project that you're working on. So that's the way I approach it mentally, you know, burying the hatchet.
Yeah, and one thing, Kim, I think you talked about it earlier, it's be kind. When you need to part from the developer, be kind, of course, but at the same time, just let the developer know, hey, you need to move forward. You had a deadline. This project means a lot to you. It's so if you're straightforward with the other person and you tell them, hey, I need to move on. I need to get this project done. And I'm sorry, I just didn't see a fit with us working together. I think that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. And another way for you to not be so emotional is you have KPIs, key point indicators. So what I now implement is, hey, give me end of day reports. If every single day they don't give me end of day reports on what they're doing, then they're not doing anything for my project that day. And then I ask, you have the conversation with them. Hey, this is what success looks like. Success looks like the Chrome extension is finished on this date. Failure looks like it's delayed a month, so that they know, okay, that's what success looks like, that's what failure looks like, and they can wrap their mind around that. So when they admit that they fail, then they can let go more easily without all the emotions involved. But if you don't have that conversation with them where at least they need to report back to you for progress, or they don't know what anything looks like, then it's very muddy for them and for you, and then you just move forward like blindly. So having key point indicators really help remove the emotion from the project for me. Eric asks, what project management software are you using? So
I use Jira. There is Trello. Jira is $10 or $5 a month, and Jira it's something similar like Trello. You can use Trello. Trello is free. It's good, but if you would like to, you can play around with Jira as well.
Yeah, and I use Red Booth. It's not as popular as the other one, as Trello, but I like Red Booth because I've stuck to it for a long time. At the end of the day, it all works. It's just your approach and your mentality that makes it work.
There's another one you can add on there, Kim. It's called Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Yep. It's similar to Jira and Red Booth, I believe, as well, too. But if somebody wants to check it out. I did want to add some things to the beginning of it, the beginning of your list, which
Sure.
were vetting the developers. And the only reason why I want to add this is because I've ran into this personally. When you're vetting developers, also you want to see how many other projects a developer is working on. Especially on Upwork, you can clearly see it because the developer, you can see the jobs that he or she is working on. So when I hire off of Upwork, I ask the developer in the beginning, I say, how busy are you? Or how many other projects are you working on? The reason why I do that is because if it's something that's really important to me and I have a specific time frame, if that developer is working on 10 other projects, then that whole overpromise and underdeliver comes by, which is basically he's going to say, yeah, I can do it or whatever, but it ends up being that he can't because he physically has 10 other projects he's working on. So that's a pitfall that, I've ran into many times, and I would like people to kind of consider it, is basically look at how many other projects that developer's working on. If they're part of an agency, then perhaps it can be working on 10, but if they're a solopreneur or solo developer, if they're working on 10 projects, there's a good chance that your project is going to have delays. It's going to have scope creeps. It's going to have different things that are going to cause a delay in your project.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael had to run, so I just messaged him saying if he had a question, then we can answer his question at the end of this. But this is something that I've said in a lot of Zoom calls to a lot of people, and so this is going to be a module in the course. Availability trumps skill. It does, to me. If you see someone that's like rated 5 stars, like done like tons and tons of hours and made like thousands of dollars on Upwork, but they're working on 8 other projects, they're not going to really prioritize yours, and they will probably give you the timeline like, hey, it's going to be like a month and a half until we get to your thing. But availability to me trumps skill, because Chrome extensions are not rocket science kind of coding thing. It's Chrome extensions are simple, more simple as software. So if you see someone that is a little bit less skilled but has like, you vetted them and you see that they've done other Chrome extensions, and then you see that they're not so busy, they only have like a few jobs going on, then that's how I decide on the Upwork developer as well for me. So that's a good point, Nick. Michael says that he's good. Pretty much what you were covering. Okay, he had questions about what we covered today. Oh, that's cool. Eric says, it's been a little while since I've looked at Red Boost, so I'll take another look. I've used both Jira and Trello as well as Asana. Have you ever started with one lower tier developer and finished it with a top tier developer? Oh, that's a good question. Finish with a top tier developer. So as you
saying is you use an entry level developer and then you use a more skilled developer to finish up. Yeah, that's doable. Again, a top tier developer would be more skilled and would kind of a little bit not like to work on other people's code base, because if he sees the code and it's written a little sloppy and it's not optimized, and the younger developer kind of didn't do a good job with the functions and used, bad coding techniques, then a more experienced developer would likely tell you, hey, it'll take me, this amount of time to rewrite your junior developer's code, and it will be a lot better, and I will be able to build on it rather than me trying to read your junior developer's code and work off of it. So unless it's compartmentalized, where basically your junior developer did this module and then you want your senior developer to kind of build on it, then it might be an easier thing to sell to a more skilled developer.
Yeah, I've seen that. Expert developers, they come in and they're like, this is trash. And then I'm like, why are you starting from scratch? They're like, I have to. So anyways, that happens sometimes. So yeah, I do it when I could afford, at the very beginning, like I had a very small budget, so I'm like, okay, $300, let's go. Like, so I'm like, okay with whatever. But then later on, I hire more expensive developers just because I know they can get it done faster. They can get it done more neatly, and they won't ghost me. They'll communicate with me. And so yeah, you get what you pay for is the lesson there as well. And it's a hard lesson.
That doesn't mean, Kim, that you can't have multiple revisions of your product. I've seen where people have started off with a junior developer. They've released a product, it wasn't the best of case. It was just good. They've gotten some sales. And then what they do is when they have the income, you can hire a more senior developer. There's always, you can have multiple revisions in the software industry. That's what we do. We have revision. We have version 1, version 2, version 3. So version 1 might be the one that you release with, but it doesn't mean that that's the one your extension is going to stay at.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's what I experienced. Eric says, what's your typical budget for plugins now? So for plugins now, I'm okay with doing like, I don't know, dropping like $1,000, $2,000 on a project, is how I am now. And that is still very little compared to acquiring software, because I just spoke to Rivka. She dropped $70,000 on a web app, on a phone application that she didn't even really sell. So you have to you just have to know. And in that call, the insight I got was like, you could spend so much money and so much time and so many things and it won't reach your people. The way to reach it is marketing. The way to reach it is seeing what works and the marketing that goes into that. Like there are crappy products that get sold so well just because the owners know how to market, know how to get it into the hands of the people. And then there's awesome software that is isolated, no one knows about. It's really cool, but the owners, they just suck at marketing, and so it doesn't get into the hands of the people. So the best thing you can do for your audience is to learn how to market as well, so that they can see what you're doing. And this course is part of that journey and part of figuring out what really works, you know. So all right, so that's awesome. Nick, so cool. You like really broke down all the pitfalls. A lot of these pitfalls I talk about individually, but I've just never created like a module of it. And having this be all in one place really helps a lot. So testers for your Chrome extension is something Margarita brought up. And this is not like a free agent pitfall, but I think it's something to think about. When you have a Chrome extension, now you're like, okay, how, like, I think part of the difficulty of moving forward is finding a time to test stuff and testing it. At the very beginning of your bootstrapping, you are doing all the testing, but I'm pretty sure there are websites where you can kind of outsource testing. However, the way I do it is I give it to a bunch of people, a bunch of my friends, and I have them go at it with organizing them into a Facebook group. And I just have them say, just give it to them for free in exchange for a video testimonial. And in that process, they're testing, you know. That's how part of how I do it. What do you think, Nick?
This one, like you said in the beginning, you are mostly doing the testing because you know your product. And you can hire people on Upwork. Believe it or not, there's software testers on Upwork. Basically, you find a couple folks and you say, hey, make them a quick Loom video about what this extension does and tell them to use it for 3-4 hours. And you've got the video capturing thing on the Upwork where you can see them using it, and just tell them to use it and report any bugs or issues or if it crashes on a document. And you only need two or three. 2 is good enough. If you give 2 or 3 people an Upwork to test it. I know there are some sites out there that you can like beta testing and UI UX testing.
Yeah, betatesting.com. So this is a problem that Margarita, we aren't the first to experience. It's been around for a long, long time. So they've managed to kind of commodify it. So there are places that beta test your stuff and you just pay them a price and they have the people, they have the audience, they put in all that work to beta test and test your stuff. I myself have not personally used any of this, so I can't really recommend. Have you used any of this, Nick?
No, but I have hired in the past for customers, for clients on Upwork. I've hired testers on Upwork. Basically, I made a video saying, hey, this is our software. Use it and give us feedback or when it breaks. But I have not used any of these particular services.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this is kind of getting a little bit off topic of this module. So I just want to wrap up this module and then we will do the coaching. Is there anything else you guys have experienced issues with hiring and outsourcing that you've seen that would help with contributing to this list? Opening a Bitbucket. Let me see, what other things have I encountered? Letting things go.
We've covered time difference with developers. That one's another one I think that many people run into, especially if you're hiring overseas.
Yeah. So how to navigate that is expect 1 day delays a lot. Whenever you submit anything or whenever you talk to them, expect that there's that time difference. There's going to be 1 day delays for everything. And then
Use good communication tools, Skype, Slack, not necessarily Facebook, but use good means to communicate with the developer. Make sure that you have not just email. Email's great, but email is email. So having a good tool like Slack, Skype, something where you can go back and read the history. They can leave you a voice message. They can leave you a video.
okay, this is my trick. Sometimes it's a noisy world for them and for me because I have so many people messaging me now that I have an assistant to even help me with that. And I probably have to hire another one just because of how many messages a day. But what I've found out is that the way that people get to me is that they know me on more than one channel. So get them on more than one channel. Get them on email if they have email. Get them on Voxer. Voxer has voice messaging. There's Messenger. And it doesn't mean that you're communicating them through all of these things. Keep it like with like the project management platform that you're on. But like as many channels as you can, have those available as like a thing, like a list on your things, because sometimes they're in email and then they're not in Messenger. They're in Messenger, they're not in email, they're in Voxer, they're not nowhere else, or they shut down. And what I've found out is to get through to people is to get them on more than just a few communication channels. Does that make sense? It's kind of like how
Yeah, don't limit
is.
yourself. Don't just give them your email.
Yeah, don't just
Give them your email. Give them various ways for them to contact you. So there's no reason that they could not get a hold of you.
Yeah, don't do just like one chat platform. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I think we've covered a lot of the pitfalls. All right. Okay, well, now I'm going to transition into the coaching part. And Nick, if you want to stay to have your input or
Sure. Go ahead.
co-coach with me, that's fine. But now we're going to transition into coaching. And Margarita showed up first, and we always celebrate our wins first. Our wins. Share wins, share what we learned, what insight we got from the past weeks, and also what questions you have for the next steps, if there's any obstacles in your way. All right, go ahead, Margarita. You can unmute yourself.
Kim, I think Amit showed up first, not me. I was the second.
Oh, Amit showed up first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Amit, welcome. Your first time here? Let's see. I think he messaged that he says he's here to take notes and learn the lingo. He's totally new. Okay. Hey, Amit, I'm going to unmute you. Boop. Hey, Amit, are you there? Or you don't have a microphone? Oh, hey, Amit. So Amit is typing right now. Right there. Okay, so Amit, I know you're new, so do you have any questions on this coaching call? Because we go in order. And if you do not, then I'm going to move it back to Margarita. Well, maybe it takes some time for Amit to type. Oh, and guys, if you can't enter through Zoom, you can always call in, like someone is on their iPhone right now. calling in. All right, Amit, I haven't heard you say anything, so I'm going to move on with Margarita, if that's okay with you. And then we will cycle back to you. Okay, go ahead, Margarita. Oh, Amit says, what should I be focusing on as a beginner? That's an awesome question. Okay, yeah, like you were just taking time to type. Amit, focus as a beginner. This is an awesome question because a lot of you guys flooded into Chrome Boss the past 2 weeks. And something that's really important to focus on as a beginner is figuring out your idea, figuring and deciding. So for me, the number one thing you should do is decide on an idea, and do the research for that idea. How to do research? Reach out to people and ask. We have a template within the module that is like the ask. I'm gonna call it something. Ask Chrome Boss template. We have an Ask Chrome Boss template that you go into groups and you post something that says, hey guys, I am going to create a Chrome extension that solves X problem and results in X benefits for X core audience, right? So just solve what problems, how would it benefit, and who are the audience. So for example, one post was, hey guys, so we're going to create a Chrome extension. It's going to help Facebook ads agencies communicate better with their clients, their success, by taking Facebook ads, the data, and putting it to a Google Sheet, so they can quickly share their progress to their people. Who would like this? And then the template has, we're not trying to sell anything, just say yes or no that you would use something like this. And we have a bunch of people say yes, like 70 something people said yes to that. So that shows you that you ask, they say, yeah, I'll do it. And then it makes it easier for you to move forward with it. So if inherently you don't feel like, some people like inherently, they feel like it's such a good idea, a lot of people will use it, and then they make it and no one uses it. So I want you to tie in what you inherently feel as a great idea to asking real life people for if they would actually use it. There are places that you can do that as a crowdsource way, like surveymonkey.com lets you ask questions to people. They already have this huge email list. They do the asking the question. They do the work in finding the people to answer your questions. Otherwise, you can just go into Facebook groups, communicate with people, talk to people, contribute, and ask the question. And deciding. So your first week, I don't want you to focus more than 1 week. So the first week, talk to people, narrow in on your idea, and then find it. If you have no idea what to do, go to the Chrome web store and look through it, and also check out our Chrome Boss black box list of ideas. It's an Excel sheet. I called the black box list of ideas because there's a bunch of ideas on there. It's previous students contributing to this list of what Chrome extensions out there, how much they're charging, how many users they have, what's their website. So you have many resources in here. Does that help, Amit? Yeah, you're trying to get your mic to work. Okay. Oh yeah, Eric says that SurveyMonkey can also keep your idea private. So you don't have to, if you're afraid someone will take your idea or something, they can keep it private for you. All right. Eric says it's a private survey, so no one else will see your results and then try to build. Oh, SurveyMonkey, I think it's not private to the people who are reading it, right? So what they do is they hit like a certain amount of number of people who can who answers your survey. So you can pay more for more people to be polled and more answers for you to have. But I would say it's a little bit of intuition, you know, and a little bit of asking people. If you get a ton of yeses that they would use your software, then go for it. But if you get a lot of people saying, no, I don't want to do that, I would rather do this, don't listen to them if it's only one or two people. But if you have like 20, 30 people telling you no, that they would never use it, then that's another thing. So, and here's the question about privacy. Ideas are a dime a dozen, right? Like you can have your idea, but it takes a certain person to execute. So don't feel afraid to ask people just because they might take your idea and run with it. That's very rare. Very rare. I've seen that happen. Don't be afraid. All right. So
I've got a question. I'm sorry.
sure, go ahead.
So when you poll people, do you also poll for like what they're willing to pay for an extension, or what they're, do you also ask what people are willing to pay for this type of tool?
Yeah, how I frame that's an awesome question, Nick. How I frame that is, hey, how many hours will this save you? And if they tell me, oh, it's going to save me like probably 1 hour a month or like 2 hours a month of work, then I'm like, how much do you pay yourself an hour? And they would say
Right.
probably like $100 an hour. I'm like, okay, how much would you pay an assistant? I pay an assistant $15 an hour. And I'm like, okay, so if this saves you 1 hour a month or a week, let's say it saves them 1 hour a week, which is huge. Would that be worth it for you to pay for this? And then they would think about it and they're like, oh yeah, it would be worth it because you're saving all that time. So to tie in time with money, so number one, you're tying time with money. The second thing is you're hitting upon what they want. So if something is like influence, like, oh, how many more courses, like for me, Group Convert, how many more courses would you be able to sell if you start talking to your audience right away? How many more of your programs would you be able to sell if people are entered into your nurture sequence? Then they think about like the possibility. So you sell people on, things they could be missing out on, which is the possibility of selling a lot more, or how much money that they're saving, because this thing provides a shortcut for them in terms of time. So like that's how I sell. Does that make sense? I don't say, oh, how much are you going to pay for it? Then people will be like, I want it for free, But I don't know. What's your experience, Nick?
No, that's exactly the same kind of formula I use as well, which is how much is your time worth? How much time will this tool save you? And instead of paying XYZ, you can buy this tool and it'll cut down the time that you have to spend to do this task.
Yeah, and Eric asked a really good question. He's like, do you try and collect a list during the poll? Name, email, and SMS as well for remarketing? Yes, when you make the poll, make sure that you have some kind of landing page where it collects their email to get on a wait list. So when you make that poll, you don't necessarily have to have like a landing page or anything, but if you make a poll, be prepared to stalk the people who answer and have their name and a link to get to them somehow in a Google Sheet. So those are the people who will be way more interested than everyone else who scrolled through and didn't care, right? So when I do a post like that, people reach out to me saying that they want to become a customer. So those posts are super, super valuable. Is what I've encountered. Like it adds to your email list. You can send them in SMS marketing, and they will be your testers. They will be your people who will give you video testimonials as well. So when you make those polls, those are very important posts. Make sure that you treat everyone who like and comment as potential customers. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, Nick, so hopefully that answers your questions. Do you try and collect? Yeah, so I try to collect everything I can. I send them into a bot too. So I do everything I can to get all the data from them and try to have them on as many channels as possible. I haven't been such a ninja at SMS marketing because it's really new to me. But it is something that we should look into even for this program to help you guys, like, go to the next level. But I can't teach on the next level if I haven't done that. So it's something that I have to go and do myself and then show you guys what I'm doing. Oh, Nick, have you tried SMS marketing at all? I don't know. Or
Yes, I've tried SMS marketing.
how do you like it?
So it depends on what type of marketing are you doing with SMS. SMS can be good for a certain type of marketing. It's not always good for software, unfortunately. It's good for ebooks. It's good for if you're launching some kind of program or event. For software, I have not seen good numbers in terms of people responding to the SMSs.
There's the new thing going on, right? There's the old way and the new way. The new way with SMS is more like, instead of SMS only, it's SMS plus voice drop. So people don't ever pick up their phones now, but they will listen to a voicemail because a lot of voicemails now they can access using the internet, right? So they'll click play. So the new thing that I've seen is it works well with voicemail drops if they hear your voice. And it's just like, it doesn't ring, it's ringless voicemail drops that gets dropped into your inbox. And they can do that with softwares like a friend of mine, he created shoutboss.com, but there's plenty of like websites and softwares that allow you to do ringless voicemail drops, and that connects you to your customer in a very amazing way. And I think it's something that we shouldn't discount, even though we're doing, I mean, as we're doing software, we shouldn't like discount that. Maybe we should try it out. Nick, I don't know.
Definitely, we can A/B test it. We can test it and see.
Yeah. Eric says a platform he's seen is Active Campaign tying into messenger bots. And ManyChat now does SMS marketing and email. So yeah, this is like getting deeper and deeper into marketing, which is awesome. Like, you guys should learn how to tie in everything together. So on a ninja level, you use ManyChat. ManyChat has SMS marketing and text, and then there you can use Zapier to integrate, everything together. You can use Active Campaign with ManyChat, do SMS marketing. You can use ShoutBoss. There's a thing called High Level. High Level is being popular right now. That does all-in-one kind of thing. Email, SMS, voicemail drops. They do it all, and they're $99 a month. So what you have to decide is where you want to tackle it. In my experience, everything freaking works. It all works. You just have to try it. Don't have like paralysis, like staying in the middle of not doing stuff because there's so many choices. But they all work. You just have to just try it out, and be comfortable with losing a few bucks, because that platform might be something you don't like and you want to switch. So yeah. Yeah, Eric, it seems like you want to try a bunch of tools to me, and I think you should just go and try it. You should just go and do it. There's so many tools. I feel like asking for the tools that we use is very important as well, because you want to know what worked. So we actually have a ChromeBoss resource list of all the links and all the tools we use, or I use, and I'll have Nick contribute to it if he wants. But yeah, we have a Chromeboss resource list, and it's all part of your onboarding documentation. All right, cool. Okay, so Amit, hopefully that answers your question. I know you're trying to get your mic to work, but I haven't heard from you. So we will let me know in the text if you are good with your focus as a beginner. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Margarita. For the first app, how much should we budget to get it completed? Margarita, how much was, like, you can type that in the comments, Margarita, but how much did your app cost you? Like a couple $100?
No, well, the development of this cost me about 150, but I lost some money on the funnel because I hired the same developer that developed my extension, and I lost about $300 there. But I've got something else from him that basically compensated what I lost. Like he gave me some stuff for free that is good, and I will probably use it. So I don't feel it like I completely lost it. But then I hired another one for $150, and that one delivered with the paying. And he had, like, talking about Fiverr, he had 75 5 stars and excellent reviews from a bunch of people saying delivered on time, everything is perfect. But when I hired him, I went through hell. Like basically I stayed with him for 3 days nonstop, working 10 hours, being on top of him. So he delivers. And it was not fun because he was from Ethiopia and we had like a huge time difference. But I was very nice to him. I never behave like a bad boss type of being. I never do this. I understand the respect and everything, but I'm just surprised how these people get such a high rating when, like, I needed to be on top of him, right on top, not even project management way, but just do this, let me test, okay, it doesn't work, let me test this, let me test that. So altogether you can calculate 150 plus 150, 600, 300 plus 300 that I lost, $600 altogether.
Okay, yeah. Margarita started off paying 150 for her, like, the minimum viable product, right? The one that I saw. And the one that I saw, it scrapes through Facebook. It lets you bulk delete friends, and it lets you choose who to delete. It was
Yeah,
that's $150. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had a web interface too. It wasn't just the Chrome extension in the corner, right? Like it went to
Actually, it shows like the whole layout of friends. You can handpick, basically just clicking, boom, 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 boom,
and it filtered
and just say delete and deletes one by one.
Yeah,
which is perfect.
And it filtered, right? It filtered by like
there are filters basically based on communication on Messenger. Like, let's say if you want to get rid of people you haven't been communicating for a year, you can just bulk delete them.
Yeah, I thought that Margarita just had such a great deal when she's like, I'm like, how much is this? Like 150. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, but then I lost 300 with the guy, but he compensated.
Just know that something similar like that, other people had paid $2,000 for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So 150 is like, what the heck? But yeah, so to budget, Amit, I've seen people start off with like a few $100s and they have their Chrome extension created just fine. And then other people have spent thousands and then they release their Chrome extension, but then the Chrome extension release pays for the Chrome extension itself. Like they make several $1,000s and then they don't even think about the cost of the Chrome extension, but it's a tool that now makes money for the rest of their life. So it's like, so you just gotta see it from that perspective. When people ask me about the cost, you have to put it into that perspective. Like this is your commitment that will give you monthly recurring income for the next years of your life. and the investment that you put in is not a college education. It is
Mhm.
not 8 hours a day every single day for years of your life. It's not none of that, right? It's you staying on top of it like Margarita does, but sometimes you get lucky and pay like a couple $100. Sometimes you pay a couple thousand, but you just have to consider it as not a cost that's sunk. It's an investment in your
Yeah.
future. So yeah, so that's a great question, Amit. Awesome. He says that sounds good as far as pricing. Yeah, I was afraid sometimes when people are like, "How much does this cost?" I'm always like, it costs this. It's this range." But then I always have to like reframe it so that they're like, "Oh, okay," like they get it. You know. All right, Margarita. Let's move to you. I know you have a lot of questions, so I want to go through your questions as
Well,
well.
maybe I'm not going to ask everything now because we have one-on-one on the first. So I'm mostly concerned about today's launch, pre-launch. Haven't tested affiliates. I've tested Stripe with my own account. Looks like it got accepted. Everything worked out well. I wanted to incorporate PayPal. He promised me, like the second guy who I hired, he said, "Oh, I've done it several times. So I incorporated PayPal and Stripe. It works fine." Turned out he was not able to make it work for both. So it's either Stripe or PayPal.
Yeah, that's what I've discovered, and I would choose
Yes,
Stripe. I would choose Stripe
exactly.
over PayPal.
So I went with Stripe than with PayPal rather than with PayPal. And then, but I haven't tested affiliates. And all right, so what do I do? I'm really like, all right, so we're gonna pre-launch. Like I made my post. You're gonna share in your group. What's next? What am I doing? I'm gonna ask some other people like Alex and some other people kind of like to share. But I haven't tested affiliate commissions, and I wonder like who wants to be my affiliate. Maybe somebody in the group wants to sign up as my affiliate. I don't know what to do with that.
So in the membership portal, I have a how to set up your affiliate using Backpack, which is what I use. So I teach what I use. And you could go in and set up like, oh, this person gets 40% commission if they
Yeah.
share. So
Uh-huh.
for your launch, you could set it, you could have an affiliate portion where if they share it and someone buys it at the upsell, the 197, then they get 40% commission. So it just
How would I
forces
know
them
it
to
comes
share
from
it
them,
more.
Kim? How would I know if it comes from them? Like, let's say they share, somebody buys. Do I know that it comes from this person?
Yeah,
How do I know?
that's the whole point of an affiliate platform. That is why the affiliate platform costs extra, because they get a link that's special to them. It will look like your landing page, but you know how in the upper URL there's like a bunch of numbers and a bunch of other things. In there, it's going to be their number, their ID. So when they share it, they feel very kind of reassured that they will get the credit if someone buys. So they can put it on their YouTube, they can put it on their blog post, wherever. It's a link that looks like your landing page, but has their code embedded into the URL. And so, yeah, and it's cookie. There's this concept called cookies. It's cookie to them. It knows that, like for Amazon affiliate, if you use your Amazon affiliate link that they give you and you share it, then whoever that person, within 24 hours, they can buy like $1,000 worth of stuff because they went through your link and then they bought $1,000. Then Amazon credits that 24-hour time span to you and give you the commissions for that time. And cookies are things that track how, like a cookie could be a lifetime cookie, which means every single thing that their people bought from them with your product is lifetime. It's like it's tracked for life. Or cookies can be temporary, like 24 hours. So anything they buy in 24 hours, credit to you. In the software world, since we base a lot of our word of mouth through affiliates, we want them to win too. So with ClickFunnels is a software, they charge people like $297 a month, but they give their they give whoever talk about them 40% commission. So people are more like motivated to talk about them to get that 40% commission every single month because it's a monthly thing. And you want to motivate your people the same way. In just like the typical launch, you can have that set up by watching my module and then launching, or just launch and then add the affiliate thing afterwards. But it's like affiliates really help with sales. Does that answer your question?
Well, the concept of affiliates, I guess I understand. What I don't understand, like I do have ClickFunnels. I use ClickFunnels, like $300 version, and they have that ability to add affiliates. So I've set it up, okay? But now how my ClickFunnels affiliate portal will communicate with, like, let's say if Nick comes, let's say if Nick wants to be my affiliate, he can set himself up in ClickFunnels. But let's say if I go to that backpack or ClickBank, or how that's going to be integrated with my ClickFunnel, that's where I'm getting lost.
Okay, so affiliate portals are different everywhere, and they are paid on their own thing. So let's say someone found you through JVZoo. Let's say you put your Chrome extension on JVZoo, and someone found you and bought you on JVZoo, but then want to share about it. So they will apply as an affiliate of yours to talk about you on JVZoo itself. You click approve, then they get their own link, and then it's JVZoo only. But if it's your landing page and it's a ClickFunnels landing page, they have to scroll down and click on, affiliate program or whatever you have the affiliate link. They click on that, they sign up, then they are part of, they have to log into Backpack. They have to look at their credits through there. They can't log into JVZoo and see, the sales that they make to the landing page. So whatever affiliate platform you end up choosing, it's that affiliate world. They have to log in there. They have to check their credits there. So what does that look like in terms of just you launching? Since you have Backpack, you should set up Backpack, and then in the thank you page, when people are going through your funnel, in the thank you page, they can share to win the contest, but then you could also say, hey, do you want to earn as well? Sign up to be an affiliate, 40% commission. And then they click on that, they sign up to be your affiliate, then they share that exact funnel. So when people go and they buy 197, then it incentivizes them to share that page more than just, oh, you might win a free lifetime account. Then they get a cut of your 197 if that's something that you do. This is kind of a little bit extreme, and I don't want to overload you. So to start off, you can just send them through that waitlist funnel. And then once you have your order page up, then in the thank you after they order is when you ask them to be your affiliate. And I've seen affiliates who test out the product, love it, and then want to talk about it. But I've also seen affiliates who are like, hey, Kim, I have a large list. I want to sell something to them. I don't use any of your products, but I trust you. And then they talk about me, and their people buy my stuff, even though they themselves have never used any of my things. They just like me, and then they send the blast because they earn the commission from me. So affiliates can come in those two types of people who really love your product, want to talk about it, and people who don't know but want to make money.
Kim, that's not what I'm concerned about. So I don't even know what Backpack is. To be honest with you, I put all my efforts to pre-launch, right? I haven't been listening to much of the training because.
Okay, so I think this question is more like a one-on-one question, I think. Yeah. So let's not take this time, group coaching. I think it's a more one-on-one question.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk then on the first about this. But meanwhile, what should I do meanwhile? So we're going to launch today, right? You're going to share in the group, I understand, how it's going to happen.
Yeah. So with the pre-launch, it would be like a post. And if you guys haven't seen this around, you know, for those of you guys that are following me a little bit closely, you see all these kind of posts, and the post looks like this. It follows Zeki's Launch Like a Pro formula. It has gotten sales for those who follow it. So it works, and it looks like for example, actually a lot of people have posted in my group so far. So there's this one. It's Derek's, and his is befriend group mates, and there's like 56 comments on all these people who says, yeah, they want to get a chance to win. So this type of post is what your next step will be, just in this format. So what you do is you change what it does, you change the copy a little bit, you try to make sure that it's not exactly like this, because yours doesn't do what he does. But you just change it, but you keep everything else the same. You keep like the title the same. You just change this, and you just change the message in here. Like, what does it do to help? What are the benefits? What does it do? Who it benefits? Why it's a game changer. Make it super simple, and then post it with an image of your free software giveaway. This is 56. I think if you search for there's a lot by now. There's a bunch of posts by now that looks exactly like this, because it's what I is the part of the blueprint. So there's 74 comments here, 34 comments here, 51 comments there. The more comments you have to your posts, people are going to opt in, and then they're going to become part of your waiting list, and they will share. So you want all that to happen. That's your next step. You want to send people through the opt-in and make the money, the $197 amount during that time. Not only are you going to post it everywhere you can, you're going to be talking about it repeatedly. And also, this is something I want you to do. I do want you to change your cover so that it points to your website. Like once people click on it, it goes to your website, or even have the link like right here. And then changing the link, the one link you have on your profile, to be the link to your software waitlist, and then also changing this. Because we want as many people, we want to build pressure. We want to build pressure to your launch. We want a lot of people on your waitlist. And you decide when you want to actually launch. You could do the pre-launch and then launch within 1 week. So you build a lot of pressure for 1 week and say, okay, it's here, you guys. And then you have all those emails that have opted in to say it's here for, versus like no list at all, So that's one thing that I would encourage doing with a pre-launch. Now, your journey after you pre-launch is making sure that you're on all the marketplaces once you launch. You're on JVZoo, you're on Warrior Plus, you're on anywhere that you can apply to, and then they approve you to be on.
Yeah, that I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna start watching the videos about launching.
Yeah.
But you think I need to post it because I see you've posted for others yourself.
Yeah. So since Margarita, you're in my accelerator program, I would be able to post it with your name as the credit. So it would be like my post and then your name.
I can give you the whole text, right? Reformat it in a way that I need to change it. I understand. Yeah. I'll do it right after the call, and I'll send it to you. So, because I think if you post it, it would give it more value, because people know you, they trust your expertise. And I will do whatever it takes to go around the groups and talk to admins and see if they can also share in their groups.
Yeah, that would be huge. That would help you out a lot if
Yeah.
you communicate with the
Mhm.
admins of all these Facebook groups. That's
Yeah. I've allocated this whole King Sumo giveaway till January 17. So I have this pre-launch for almost 3 weeks. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I may shorten it if it's not the right thing to do. But I
3
know
weeks is a good time because during that
Yeah.
time you can also what Zeki does is he pushes one-time lifetime offer sales during that whole time. He's like,
Yeah.
the lifetime is going away, the lifetime is going
Yeah,
away,
that's
and
what
he
I
says
want
it's
to
only
say.
for the
Hey
next 5
guys,
people.
yeah. I'm kind of following his idea of uh, building up the excitement and saying that it goes away, it goes away. But then, should that price be a part of my selling funnel? So when I'm ready to sell, like right now, I have 3 options: monthly, yearly, and lifetime. Also for 197. Or that would be misleading to people who would buy it during the pre-launch, and then all of a sudden they will see that I'm selling it lifetime for the same price.
Yeah, that would be misleading if you keep the lifetime. So what I would do is take away the lifetime once you launch. And then if you decide to bring the lifetime back and have it be a permanent thing for you, just wait a little bit and then bring it back and say, hey guys, the lifetime was so popular. People loved it. I'm going to keep it as a landing page. You know, people are not really paying that much close attention to what you're doing as much as you think, you know, everyone's eyes are on you. They're not.
That's
They're
how
in their own world, they're doing their own thing, and they, you know, they can barely like look out. So don't be afraid to reintroduce things. The reason why King's App Sumo exists is because it provides lifetime randomly, while other people on their own website are paying monthly. You know, like King Sumo is a marketplace for lifetime options and deals for software that only charges monthly. So that's why people go to AppSumo to purchase, because it's a deal website. But people who purchase on that site might not ever meet the people who pay monthly. And the people who are paying monthly might not even care to look this way because they just don't have the time, you know? So just don't be afraid to be fluid with your pricing, with things like that. But obviously, if you're like, it's going away, and then it's not
and
going
then
away,
I'm showing
like right then
all
and
of the
there,
sudden.
yeah, then people
Okay,
will
I thought so.
but you can always bring in lifetime later on
Later on.
and be fluid with it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess regarding affiliating, right, people and letting them sign up through ClickFunnels to my affiliate program, and ClickFunnels also have that login for affiliates. Basically, it's all built in. My understanding is.
Yes, it's all built in into Backpack. You should watch the module on how to create affiliates.
Okay. Yeah.
I create a module, but honestly, if you go on YouTube, there are so many tutorials.
I know it's a learning curve, and I just didn't want to kind of overwhelm myself learning affiliates. And meanwhile finishing pre-launch, right? Because I'm already late. If you compare it to my project plan, I planned on pre-launching in mid-December, launching actually in mid-December. And then I learned about pre-launch, so it pushed the timeline towards more like end of January, not end, mid of January.
Yeah, these blueprints, these things that I offer as part of the program, they're all really optional for you to have.
I know.
Tools in your toolbox.
I understand.
Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I'm late in this. Margarita, you're not late.
I felt like this.
You're going at like you told me yourself. You're like a bull. You're going at a bull's pace. Like compared to people who buy this course and don't even look at it, you know?
Oh, God,
like
no.
you're moving lightning speed. Okay, so
It was
don't beat
people.
yourself up for being late in your mind. So
Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. So here's what then for tonight. I'm in, right, Eric. Thank you so much for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to frame the text then and send it over to you with the image. I have created this full-blown image with computers. Remember how you told me, do I have it? Yes, I have it. the guy in Ethiopia created for me overnight. So I can also include it, whatever is needed, I'll include anything what's needed together with the link. So once you publish it, it has more weight than if I would do it. And then maybe I can share it somehow. People see your name also.
Yeah, like Lana's just got hers. What's it? InstaDMfollowers.com. So you have several. There's like a bunch of these floating around now because you guys are like following the blueprint that works. But like, just look at Lana's as another example. Like, this is what she wrote, and once you go in, you know, this is her words, and then it's very similar to the Launch Like a Pro blueprint. So you have a lot of examples to look at. She included, yeah, there's just a lot of examples out there.
Yeah, looks like mine. Yeah, yeah.
But this is for Instagram, so it's nothing.
Oh, that's
the Chrome
for
extension is
Instagram.
nothing.
Oh,
like
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
True. I know Lana. Yeah, I actually talked to Lana, so she is a pretty cool girl. I really like her a lot. So
Eric says, reminds me of Kim Ferris. I feel dumb for not joining that Christmas ClickFunnels special. What do you mean? The $1,500 for like a year or something, Eric?
oh.
You know what? I look at that special sometimes and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm gonna use ClickFunnels for another year. But here's how to counteract like missing out on kind of feelings like, oh, I missed out on this. I missed out. Just make the commission, have people pay for your commission, you know, and so the few $100s that you could have saved, you're making that amount, you know. That's how I counteract fear of missing, like FOMO feelings. I'm like, oh, that's like, you know, that's hundreds of dollars, but I can make that, and it should be fine for these discounts. But yeah,
Right.
okay, Margarita, let's focus back in. I kind of
Let me focus on that because that's important to jumpstart the process of pre-launch. I don't even know if Kim Sum is working because it has to kick in 16:48 Eastern time. I don't know how I ended up having this time. Probably I didn't pay attention. I only put the date and then they assigned the time, 16:48 p.m. of Eastern time when it starts, the challenge.
You can revise it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just click revise. And
I don't even know if it works, but we'll see. If it doesn't, then it's going to delay the process. It's okay. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
All right, Margarita. Let's see. Eric is like really adding a lot of comments to this live. Love it. Do you have any other questions? And then I can move on to Eric and whoever's on the iPhone. Someone's on the iPhone, but I don't know the phone number, so I don't know who is on the iPhone.
No, I'll talk to you on the first, so we could talk about affiliate marketing and the ways of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very important to have that. Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margarita. Thank you.
Oh, and Kim, before I go, I'm going to be sending you this whole text shortly, like in half an hour.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Send it to me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, Eric.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for showing up.
Yeah. I want to say I really have enjoyed the call so far, and Margarita is, wow, she's a swift kick in the pants for getting going here, because she's like, well, you know, I mean, first of all, for cost efficiency, she's like, I spent $150 and I lost. I mean, Margarita, I've lost $350, I think, last week on lunch. So I'm feeling
not bad.
You're doing pretty well. Yeah, you're really getting moving here. And so,
thank you.
Yeah, I don't know when you started, but I'm like
2 months ago.
Wow, that's great.
Not even 2 months. It's 1 month and 27 days. Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah, so I've really been inspired by everybody so far. It's been a lot of great content, and Kim, you always over deliver. And so, Nick, it's, I went to school to be a software engineer and software developer, and, but, just life took a different turn. I ended up in IT and everything, just doing a bunch of other different stuff. I'm in network administration and marketing. It's a long story, but just hearing what you had said, it was some great stuff as far as these pitfalls. And I'm kind of some of the questions that Amit had asked, I was kind of going in the same direction, as far as being an absolute beginner. I just joined, but I think I'm kind of like, as far as, first of all, I mean, are these calls, do we have just like 4 weeks access to these calls when we start into these programs, or?
For the old calls, everything is recorded for all the past calls, and you get access to that lifetime. If you got in with like the special deals, it was like 4 weeks of group coaching. Some people bought the full course, which is 8 weeks of group coaching. Like Margarita, she purchased the accelerator program, which is 3 months of group coaching. And then there are those who purchased the elite program, which is a whole year's worth of group coaching. So if you like this is something that motivates you and you want to stay in the group coaching, then and you want to refresh your membership so that you could have access to more group coaching, just reach out to me. But you do have at the bare minimum like 4 weeks of these group coaching, and it's 2 coaching calls a week, so it's actually a lot of our time. There's 2 hours of office hours with Nick on Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then there are this time slot, usually 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays every single week. So like a lot of, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't get out of work until 6 p.m. Central Time. So I was just wondering, like, I'm going to have to figure out something, but I think I should maybe catch the last hour, or I'll have to figure out some kind of arrangement or something. But I'm actually still in a job, and so I'm kind of like, Lana, coming out and doing this after hours. And so,
well, we do have a form where you can submit questions, and then we answer them during these lives as well. So if it's something that you want us to answer live, but just can't show up live, then we do have a questions form.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking that as far as it goes, I mean, my biggest thing is going to be trying to come up with, I have a few ideas, but I still have to come up with my idea. So I don't want to take up a lot of time with, I'm pretty much in Amit's camp as well.
Yeah, I was gonna copy and paste that note.
Yeah.
Whatever Amit is going through is what you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that what I was gonna ask about King Sumo, is that something I said that's on a lifetime deal right now? I was thinking about getting that. Is that something you recommend right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I see that a few people are using that. Is there anything else as far as, I guess I'll try to find the software resources recommendations. I have Group Convert right now, but do you think that in order to do the Chrome Boss program that I have to have ClickFunnels, or can I start out without having that expense until I kind of get going, or how does I'd like to minimize my expenses up front.
Okay, yeah, that's a great question to ask, because I hear that a lot. Like, hey, I just want to minimize my expenses. Can I just start off without a funnel, or like, can I use something else? There are free ways to do this. And when I say free, I mean you have to at least pay for hosting of some sort. So for you could go, so let's say budget options, right? Like
Yeah.
budget options. There are students who just have a Chrome extension. And then they pay a one-time fee of $5 to the Chrome web store, and they earn. They have like a calculator or something small, and then people buy and they pay like $4-5 a month for their calculator that they're using, because it helps them save time. You know, a calculator helps save a lot of time. So you could just have a Chrome extension and your bank account linked to the Chrome web store, and that's it. The downside to that, the cons, is that you're not collecting. No email collection. So you're not collecting any of those emails. And in the marketing world, an email that pays attention, that listens, that follows you is worth gold. You know, it's like so important to have someone's email. So
Absolutely.
you're missing out on all those emails. People are using your Chrome extension, but you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, I mean, my question's more, and I appreciate you answering that from the complete zero cost perspective, because I think that's important. For me, I have Group Convert, and I made an investment for a year with them, and it's not that they wouldn't work with ClickFunnels. I just, until I actually have.
Wait, what are you talking about? You have Group Convert and you're with them for a year? What is that? What do you mean?
I have a year. I think is it Group Convert? Hold on.
It can't be Group Convert.
Not Group Convert. That's the name of your product. I'm sorry. It's I'm getting the name mixed up.
Is it a landing page?
No, it's email marketing that also has
Kartra?
No.
Okay, let's say for the sake of this example, some kind of landing page plus email.
Yeah, it's email funnel. It's all in one. Neil Patel recommended it for a year, and he sold me on it. So anyway, yeah. So it does funnels. It does email collection. I can do all of it in one, and but it's not ClickFunnels. So this can be done, like you said. It's just. I was just wondering what I'm going to miss out on. Obviously, I'm going to miss out on affiliate with Backpack. Or that was one of my questions. What can I do as far as can I be someone else's affiliate if I don't have a ClickFunnels account?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Use
JVZoo. JVZoo, when you submit it, they have a affiliate platform available for you. Okay. Your affiliates will come from JVZoo. And if anyone wants to be an affiliate, you have to send them to JVZoo to be an affiliate.
That works with Backpack, or like if I was if I was wanting to be Margarita's affiliate, for example, could I be her affiliate if I didn't have a ClickFunnels account?
You can be her affiliate if you don't have a ClickFunnels account, because Backpack doesn't require
that. Okay.
Account.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to have any. You don't have to be subscribed to anything to be someone's affiliate, if that's in their terms and conditions, because sometimes like ClickFunnels, to be their affiliate, you don't have to, but some softwares, like to be their affiliate, you have to pay. You have to pay to play or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the time we want affiliates to work for us, so we don't charge them anything. But
right, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure. I mean, I know that ClickFunnels is a pretty insulated platform to some degree.
Yeah, and to get over the fear that you have, like, oh, do I need to have this? Do I need to have that? With landing pages, I just literally go on Fiverr and I hire someone for $10, and they clone the exact same thing that you see in ClickFunnels onto whatever you have. And I've seen it over and over again. I pay for Builderall. I don't really pay for these things because my affiliates pay for them, but I have Builderall as a landing page. I have some pages that are in Builderall. I have Insutanto. I have some pages in Insutanto, which is a whole email affiliate, like their whole world. I have Kartra, and they have their whole world and of like affiliates and everything. And then Kajabi, which is their whole world of courses. And so doesn't matter, you can like move things around. Just go on Fiverr and say, hey, I like this, I want this to be on here, and they'll do it for very low costs, like $15, $20, something super low. Yeah. you can definitely duplicate it. Am I answering your question? I'm trying to
Yeah,
make sure
no.
that I'm answering your exact question.
Definitely, I think so. I just no, I'm familiar with several of these different platforms. I've developed and you know, several of them. I've just, like I said, I want to be on. I've just spent so much money, and you know, I've joined. You know, I joined with Alex Rose recently, her program. I joined with your program, and
What
I
is
joined.
Alex Rose's program?
Am I saying her name wrong?
I don't know.
OGAC.
Oh, that's Alex S. Elliott. Yeah, she's my
Alex
friend.
Elliott. I keep calling her Alex Rose for some reason. Alex Elliott. Sorry.
Okay, so you're trying to build your group, one group.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even had time to. I'm like, I haven't even gone through her thing yet, and so it's like I said, I've invested in some training and some different stuff, and it's like I wanted to do the ClickFunnels thing, I just didn't do it because it was like I've got to stop spending money on stuff that I haven't. I've got to complete some stuff here first, you know. But this thing, the Chrome Boss thing, you are in a totally different. I went with this because I feel like this is a totally different stream and something that I have been wanting to do for a while, and I feel like this is something that I'll be able to do, you know, and really focus on. And I mean, I instantly saw the value opportunity, and it's not just a training, you know what I mean? So this is actually, you know, go towards it, build it, and it's, you know, I saw it, you know, I could totally see it. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I did this.
Yeah, that's awesome, Eric. I feel like you're in this for the right thing. I don't want you to go through the same mentality that held me back for a long time, because before I actually made any money with software, with the Chrome extension, I paid I paid and cancel and pay and cancel for a lot of these softwares that I feel like need a pull together to have something work, right? And that happened for like 2 years. I pay, cancel, oh, I don't know, oh my gosh. And that kind of thing is a behavior thing for me, and that I have to mentally get over. When I purchased a coach. He just told me, hey, just get my ClickFunnels at $297, and then I'll be your coach for like 8 weeks or something. So I paid for that coach in terms of ClickFunnels money. But what I did was I paid $297 a month, and at that time it was a lot of money for me to invest $297 a month. But little did I know that investing $297 is just a drop in the bucket to how much pull I got when I have affiliates. When I can say, hey, here's a link, you sign up, you get credit, then all of a sudden people who would not even care about me, they might not even still care about me, but they care about their own, you know, wallets, started caring about my product, because when they spoke about it, they get sales and they actually make money. So my first experience as finding affiliates is I would show up to their lives when they talk about my product. They talk about Group Convert live. They're like, hey guys, and they only have like literally 5 people on the live because they're so small. I would be one of those 5, and they would say, hey guys, Group Convert, you should get Group Convert because of this. I'm gonna demo it. And then they demo it, and I'm right there in the live going, awesome, great. At his time, his name is Joe. He's still named Joe, but I was like, great, Joe, that's awesome. Thank you so much for demoing my product. And then I would answer questions. And then one of that person purchased from Joe. Joe got 50% of $197. The minute that he saw that he got like half of 197 for a 20-minute live that he did, it just sparked him, and he started talking about it. He started telling everyone about it. And that's really, you know, it's the one-on-one relationship that sparks that fire. And you could like look at it in terms of, oh, I don't want to spend $297. I don't want to do, you know. But when I invested, this is my own story, when I was like, $297 is a lot of money, but I'm investing in me because I need a powerful affiliate platform, because I need people to feel, you know, like they're going to get credit. And then I could go and shout this to the world, and people concerned about their own wallets, concerned about their own life being, could care about me too. So when you think about like spending that amount for an affiliate platform, think of it like that. If I didn't have that, if I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do 97, I'm not going to bother with all this stuff. Who cares? Then no one would hear about me. No one would really care that much. But that's with Backpack. That's my story. That's one story. And Robert.
No, I've actually watched that story unfold literally over the past several years. I've watched you like go, just because like I talked with you like 2 years ago. I think it was when you helped me build a messenger bot. Like you just literally one-on-one helped me build a messenger bot. I don't know if you remember this, but it was like you had some kind of deal where I don't even know if you charged. I think you did it for free.
Yeah, I think
and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I was on my own, working by myself, making nothing. You know what I mean? And I had a workplace emergency, had been fired from a job, and I was not doing well. But you helped me with that, and it was like you were just investing one step, one person at a time, and you have continued to do that, one person at a time, one conversation, one Facebook Live at a time, and I've seen you do it. And then you've just one idea at a time, one thing at a time, continued to build. And you're right, it takes a platform that causes people to be able to feel comfortable and secure, you know what I'm saying? But it's also just that continuing to make people feel like you believe in them, and that that you're going to give and give that reciprocity. And that's what I told Lana yesterday. I immediately recognized that same trait with her. You know what I mean? She's going to do really well. I can tell she's already probably starting to do well, but I feel like she's going to do really well because she's got that same giving, and it builds. But when you caught into this with the Chrome Boss, I feel like this is only, it's starting to go, but I feel like it's going to be so big, and so, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and the story. Yeah, I forgot that I did that for free for you.
You did. I was like,
it's a testament to,
yeah.
People buy from people that they trust, that they believe in, and they see over and over again through a lot of many just lives and emails and
yeah, I was like, who is this Kim person? She's doing a live again. Then it started to kind of, they just kept getting better and better, and then with bigger audiences and more stuff, and it just kept you just kept going after it, and like you say, it really does have to do with some of it has to do with fear, some of it has to do with not limiting yourself, a lot of those different things. And I guess, I went back and got a job, and, I'm working with a small family company with an agency, some good people, you know what I mean? Like just supporting the family, and kind of, I'm doing something where I'm doing IT and I'm doing marketing. I'm kind of just building up my skills more, but I still feel like all that's, it's still all fear, you know what I mean?
I think the question you have when you're like going out and asking about all those tools comes back to me, what I see is am I asking the right questions? Is the behavior that I'm doing the right one that will get me to the next step, to the next level? And the way I answer that, when someone is asking that way, I'm seeing that it's more than just what tools do you use. It's like you asking me, part of it is you doubting what works, you doubting your own decision making about yourself because of all the things, all the money that you've lost on random scattered stuff,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you saying, I don't know if, my resources are like this, and I don't know, every single step is so important. So to answer that, what I see is, if it means you working overtime for a little bit, if it means you selling, some stuff you have in your garage, if it means whatever, don't sacrifice the affiliate platform. Don't sacrifice the connection, spending the time to connect with people, so that they talk about your software. Um, you know, that's not what you sacrifice.
Right.
You can skimp on, like, you know, I don't know, things, but you can also not have to go out and buy that extra burger. You can find the resources. So in this journey, this is the very beginning step for you, and you're going to experience, like, probably hiring someone, and then they fail you, or they delay stuff. And if you're coming at it with like a very scarce mentality, like every single resource I have, I need to hold on to, it's going to be more a rocky ride than saying, you know what, I'm going to sell that chair on eBay to get those resources. I'm going to, because I can't sacrifice this, And so that's what helped me transition from trying a lot of things and it failing all the time, to seeing something that actually works. Because in my head, I'm like, no matter what, I can't sacrifice this. No matter what, I can't. And $297 now is a drop in the bucket for me. So before, it used to be this all enormous expense, but now I look at it, I'm like, I can sell something on eBay. I can sell several things. I can get rid of this. I don't need to go out to eat that day, because this is something that I can't sacrifice, investing in myself. Does that help you?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think you've answered the question about how you feel about ClickFunnels for sure, as far as it being, the platform and its importance. I guess the question for me in terms of ClickFunnels then is timing. I have a funnel platform. I have a hosting platform. I have Bluehost. This other thing, I can't even believe it's like one of the funnel / email deals. It's supposed to be. It's like it makes an auto funnel. I can't remember the name of it.
High level,
but no, it's like.
That's fine. There's like
anyway,
a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
I think it's called. It's something convert. Something convert.
Oh, Amit says it's
get response. Thank you, Amit. Good God, I couldn't remember it. Your product name was like stuck in my head, but which is a great product, by the way. I mean that one is easy to sell because it's just so. I'm
glad that while you're stuttering to remember, you say my software like 10 times.
That's funny. It's like stuck in my head. Well, I mean, I had growth tools and I had your product name stuck in my head because that is such. I mean, anything where you can pull a list out of something that's just organic like that is just huge, and so, that's just massive. But anyway, I'm gonna go that route. I guess it's a question of when should I do it, and it's just a matter. I guess that's the first thing is get the idea, go through some of this training, and then start building the funnel. And with the while the product's in development would be the answer to that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I agree with you. That's a drop in the bucket. I'm fully on board with it. I've kind of sailed in that direction. I'm really working on the scarcity mentality. I do still have some doubts and fears in terms of past failures, but I'm really working on overcoming that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we all have it. I have it all the time. I have it every week, higher levels, higher devils you experience.
Yeah.
Just there's no one that's immune from it. Even if you're like a multi-billionaire or millionaire or whatever, you still go and experience this. It's very human. It's just that the bounce back rate is faster now. So
right.
get that bounce back right fast, so you don't stay in that mode as long. But yeah.
That's good. I guess my next question would be like Fiverr versus Upwork. I mean, any thoughts in terms of what
So Fiverr, I see it as like quick purchases for quick small things, like a funnel.
Super small.
Boom. An icon. Bam, you know, like a logo. But
Voicemail
for
recording.
long-term development stuff, Upwork, because it shows you what other projects that they've worked on in terms of development work, and how many tests they complete, what's their percentage completion, a lot more detail than Fiverr, where it's like 1 to 5 stars and then a review. So to me, Upwork is more for like developers, and Fiverr is more for quick videos, quick things that you create. That is my own personal experience. Whoever's like, you guys are watching, whatever your experience is, let me know in the comments, and let Eric know in the comments as well. But yeah, I hire different things at different platforms. Fiverr, icons, 2D videos, quick animations, quick stuff. It gets done in like 1 or 2 days. Upwork, developers, longer projects, escrow, it holds my money until I test it, and then I can release it. And it's very much a marketplace for a lot of developers. So those are the differences for me.
Okay.
You can try hiring on Fiverr for developers.
I'm not going to go out and reinvent the wheel here. No, I appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to ask any more questions right now until I've had a chance to go through and do some of the beginner work. I think y'all have given a lot of value and given me a lot to think about on this first call. And I appreciate you taking the time to, share some of your story in terms of what you saw on that behind the question there. That's appreciated.
I think what will have you be successful in connecting with people is the ability to listen beyond the words that they're telling you. And I think that will have you, it's just try to listen a little bit more closely, because it's really that skill that lets you connect with people. And when you can connect with people, then everything else comes more easily, the sales, the whatever, the mentions, the love, it just comes more easily if you listen and can connect. And I think it's something that my coach has taught me to do better. So, and what I paid $30,000 for, and what I bring to you guys. So, and also, I really appreciate you showing up and telling me that story. That's such an awesome story. I don't even remember I helped you for free like 2 years ago, but it just, the more you give, it comes back, eventually.
Yeah.
But,
thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Well, I'm glad you're in the program, and I'm hoping to see more of you. And let's get through this together, mentally and technically.
Yes, definitely. Thanks everyone.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Okay. I have next, man, this call is long. So if you feel like you're on here and you allocate it from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and it's done for you, just feel free to go. I kind of want to be able to get to the rest of everyone here. And I think it's only one person left. So feel free to stay, feel free to go. But just make sure that you tell people about ChromeBoss Live. I would love to see you guys live. I see you guys on Zoom. I see you guys in Facebook Live, but I want to see you guys live and have that experience in a smaller, intimate live event. I think the person that's left is on the iPhone. I don't know your name, but all right, Eric, I'm going to mute you.
I have a real quick question.
Go ahead. What? Go ahead.
Is that a live event that you're hosting in California?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're in California, the link is here. I'll drop it into the thing, but it's basically, I should route it from chromebosslive.com. I do have Chromeboss Live, the domain, but anyways, it's chromebossmasterclass.com/chromebosslive. And it's this link, it's the order form. If you are already in the program, a ticket is $297 with the coupon code 700 off. Otherwise, if you're outside of the program and you haven't bought any of my masterclass stuff or just anything, then it's going to be $997, and it's a 2-day event. There will be, this is going to be like, it was supposed to be a surprise, but there will be lunch catered for the first day. And then for those who want to do a VIP dinner, there's also the VIP dinner. But I would love to see you guys. And if you know anyone, like any friend, if you feel like simple tools, simple software is an answer for your friend, then let them know about this event. I'm going to be opening an affiliate program for it. But right now I created an order page, and then I'm going to have this dude named Alan Dean help me with the landing page. Otherwise, it's just you order, you come. I'm going to send you a link for the discounted hotel. And I want it to be like a very super transformative live event. And I'm being coached to do so. So I'm like, you know, I'm getting a lot of help with it. And I want it to be a great event for you guys. So, all right, that is the link. Yes, so this is the link. It leads to here. It tells you what it has over here. You get a workbook. We're going to go through the workbook. It's an implementation day and a mastermind day. So we'll do a lot of sharings as well and insight. I'm Rachel S. Lee. She says she's coming. Doug Botten, he said he's coming. I just created this order form today. So, oh, someone earlier today was like, Kim, I want to come. Where's the order form? And I said, okay, here. So this is the order form for it. And yeah, so for those in my program, you get $700 off. So it's a really good deal. All right, cool. Your link is missing boss. Oh, yeah. Well, Chrome Boss, Matt, if you type Chrome Boss here, it goes to like live event, right? Oh, shoot. Okay, you know what? I'm going to change this link. Chrome Boss live event. There, this link. All right, cool. Let's go to, so thank you, Eric, for asking that question. It's in San Diego. Would love for you to come. Whoops. All right. Okay, Eric, is that good? Yes?
Yeah, the link is actually Chrome Boss Masterclass. You have chromemasterclass.com, so I wanted to make sure that was correct in the, there you go.
Thank you.
So it's for future clickers.
for those watching the replay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
Watching out for me.
So when the with the so if you do the, what was the VIP, is there a discount on the VIP that's slightly different on that, or how does that work? Did you work out any
Yeah, so I created the order page today and I couldn't figure out how to apply the 700 to the VIP, but
okay.
So
that would be $12.97 on that, or?
Yeah, so $700 off. So $12.97, and it's dinner with me. JR McKee will be there, and he has his own Chrome extension. And I'm like corralling Nick to come. Nick, come, but JR will be there, and it's a smaller event. It's not going to be like a bunch of people. It's going to be small. And you know, I want it to be a transformative event, and that's what I'm going to aim for. And I have my own coach who have created small, really powerful events, and I'm modeling after what he's teaching me, and he provides me all the blueprint, all the way to make it a good experience for you guys. But But yeah, okay. So do you have any other questions about the event itself? I will. So if you were to buy it, Eric, and you're like, hey, I want the VIP, and you buy it today, then I'll like refund the $700. I just have to figure out how to like do that. You know, I haven't. I
No
created.
worries. I was just asking for.
Yeah. But yeah, there will be $700 off for the VIP dinner if you're already in my program.
Yeah, you can just do a third item, right?
Yeah, I could do a
Probably.
third item over here that says if you're already in my program. I can figure it out.
Yeah.
I created
Yeah,
it
it's just
very
today.
quickly. Don't worry. It's
Yeah.
a tech problem that I can figure out.
I'm sorry. I'm always trying to solve stuff.
No, don't apologize for that. Thank you so much. But yes, just join me in San Diego. It's going to be San Diego, February 27th to 28th at Marriott La Jolla. Yeah, it's going to be in San Diego, February 27th, 28th. It'll be really fun. And I hope to see you guys live. All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eric. All right. I'm going to mute you. And I know whoever's on the iPhone has been patiently waiting this whole time. I'm going to unmute you. I don't know who you are. It says iPhone. I don't even know your number. Hey, iPhone. Who are you? Hello. Are you just listening in? I'm going to give you 2 seconds. Oh, Eduardo. Okay. Okay, so this is Eduardo's question. Eduardo, if you're on the iPhone, you can like unmute yourself. Hey, Eduardo. Right now, I have a quick question. How does the promotion work after the ad on is ready and published? Do we need to contact influencers or make paid ads? All right, so the reality is I haven't run one paid ad to my thing, and all my Chrome extensions have made me, I looked at my Stripe account, within the past year, almost $200,000. It was like, it shocked me, really. But so you can have it be organic and not do paid ads. However, because I'm not a paid ads expert, I can't teach you what I don't know. I'm bringing in a guy who knows ads and Facebook ads, and I'm onboarding him. It's taking me a little bit of time because I talked to him like a week ago, and so we're going through like I'm onboarding 2 paid ads guy just because I don't know paid ads that well. However, the organic way is definitely affiliates, connecting with influencers, connecting with people, human beings, one-on-one, and seeing if they have an audience, whether it's small or big. Also, there are 7 different marketplaces, Eduardo, 7 marketplaces where you can list your Chrome extension that already has foot traffic. So 7 different marketplaces. There's Warrior Plus, there's JV Zoo, there's Chrome Web Store, there's Gumroad, and more in the resource list. We have a resource list. I just haven't memorized all of it. Robert McCorkle just has JV Zoo. Like, that's all he has, and he does over $8,000 a month in sales. Gumroad, Nate McAllister is on Gumroad, and he does $400,000 on Gumroad for his Chrome extension. Adrian Leop, he did $250,000 on just the Chrome Web Store. Literally, that's it, Chrome Web Store. He doesn't even post on JV Zoo or Gumroad. And then I have Saul Morani, who does $30,000 a month on Warrior Plus alone. So these marketplaces have foot traffic. Trust that they will bring you people, but I think the important thing to consider is human connection and developing that relationship with a person is what will catapult you forward, because as long as there's a platform with an affiliate thing, you can go and connect with people and have them talk about you. You will get sales. Let's see. Eric says, that's what I do a lot in my agency as well, paid ads versus viral and strong organic. It's hard for smaller shops to compete on paid ads. Facebook is starting to get more big money company. Yeah, that's true. So Eric, you know paid ads. Maybe Eric can like help out with like a paid ads module or something. But yeah, I am onboarding some paid ads coach. There's this guy named oh man, his name is hard to pronounce, but Nick introduced him in to the community, and he ran a lot of paid ads for many years. And then also this dude named Bailey, he wants to, I recruited Bailey Prolux, and this dude, he like speaks on stage and, you know, teaches about paid ads. So stuff like that. He has his own digital marketing company and he runs ads all the time. So he's going to be joining us as a guest coach. Lots of exciting things ahead, but I'm not an expert at paid ads, so can't really. So 7 marketplaces you can do, and also affiliates on those marketplaces. On some of those marketplaces. Chrome Web Store doesn't have that affiliate program. All right, does that help you? Hey, Len just joined. Yay, Len. Okay, yeah, Len. So this call is uncharacteristically super long. Usually it's 1 to 3 p.m. and we've like gone way overboard because I wanted to answer everyone's question. Eric says that he does well with paid ads. It's just tougher for small startups who don't have experience to go to that route. Okay, IF Hacker. Yeah. So we're going to have some coaches on paid ads come in. IF Hacker and Bailey. I just got to figure out how to integrate them. Like what office hour slots can they provide? Anyways, team building. It's fun. All right, cool. So if you're starting out, Eduardo, I wouldn't worry about running ads. Here's the reason why. It costs a lot of money, but also if you don't have your messaging correct, as in you haven't have experience selling to your customers and talking to your customers and knowing what they care about, if your messaging isn't correct and you send people to a landing page, what can happen is that they're going to cancel on their subscription because it isn't what they thought it was. And that's like a lot of time what happens with software, because they think that it's something, they go and they pay, and then they ask for refunds, they ask to cancel because it was like just the wrong messaging. So until you can organically have the message be correct, it's going to be harder to like get more hits than misses when you turn on the ads. I see ads as more like pouring gasoline on your existing fire, but you need to have your fire first. You know, does that make sense? Let me know, Eduardo. Oh, he says, thank you. And we offer percent of sales to affiliates. Is it just usually one time or reoccurring? People love reoccurring. That's why I'm in the simple software world. It's reoccurring income. It's a love that not only is confined to you, but it's going to be a love your affiliates will love. You know, they're looking for reoccurring income. They're not looking to work hard every single month starting at 0 again. They're working hard to talk about you so that you could get them a piece of the pie, and then they win as you win. So reoccurring all the way. That's why ClickFunnels is so large. That's why they do like 9 million a month or something, because they spent the time to build out like over 100,000 paying customers. And the reason why they even got that big is because they offer almost half of what they make to the people that talk about them. We are no different than ClickFunnels. You know, we're small, but we are software and we charge every single month. And so build your affiliate army and, you know, pay them because they're the ones that are putting money in your pocket. All right, cool. All right. I am like tired. You know, I'm used to webinars where it's like 2.5 hours long, but this has been like an almost 4 hours? No, 3 hours. Okay, guys. Lana just joined us. Lana, do you have any questions? And also, Eduardo, do you have any questions left? I know you're like typing and you're on your phone. Okay, Lana has no questions. All right, Eduardo. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. This recording will be available on Monday. And hopefully I see you guys at Chrome Boss Live in San Diego. And yeah, I will see you next week, I guess. Oh, just to let you know, I am going to go on vacation. So I'm going to see how, because, you know, this is remote. I can do this anywhere in the world, but I do want to have at least my own vacation. And it's coming up. So what is going to happen is that Nick will jump in. And also I'm looking to onboard If Hacker and Bailey so that they can jump in to help out as well. But yeah, just to let you guys know that I might not be available for 2 of the weeks coming up, 2 to 3. All right, thanks for, all right, you said thanks, bro. I don't know if you were calling me bro or someone else a bro. Oh, Nick bro. Okay, guys, that's all for today. I am gonna see you guys in the group, and if you have any questions, ask inside the Chrome Boss Facebook group. Thank you for staying this whole time. You guys are like such soldiers. All right, bye. Bye, have a good night, have a good evening, and a weekend.